It is time for Mayotivations, presented by Hellmann's, America's #1 mayonnaise. Chargers, Cardinals, also part of that Monday Night Football twofer, and plenty of motivation for the Chargers, who are trying to stay in the early playoff chase at 3-2. Harbaugh, by the way, 6-0 in his NFL career as a head coach on Monday night. Of course, all of those coming with the Niners, looking to stay perfect on Monday night. And meanwhile, it is good news for the Cardinals. They're getting rookie wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. back just in time. He was dealing with a concussion over the last few weeks. And we have the Push in the Pile crew here with us, Mike Renner, Kyle Long. I'm Jacqueline D'Agostino alongside Haley Sutton to break down this matchup. Gentlemen, we're going to start with the Chargers because this defense is really coming into form under Harbaugh, the #1 scoring defense that we have right now in the league. Kyle, I'll start with you. Are you expecting this defense to just continue up that path as we head farther into the season, starting with this matchup against the Cardinals?
Yeah, I really do. And I mean, this defense is going to play better as long as this offense continues to play better. When you see that offensive side of the ball get better, it's a Mayotivation for
that look
defense.
At that. Full circle.
They're going to find a way to create more opportunities, more possessions. You look at the way that the Green Bay Packers were able to frustrate Kyler Murray, and that's going to be on tape. That's what the Chargers are taking a look at. How can you limit Kyler Murray? So I expect for this Chargers team to go out there and kind of throw a blanket on this offense for the Cardinals. I know they got Marvin Harrison coming back, but I like this Chargers defense getting better and better every week, just like their entire team has.
I've been wildly impressed with Jesse Minter and what they've done on the back end, but I will say in this game, no Asante Samuel, maybe no Christian Fulton. They're two cornerbacks. Both those guys have been playing out of their minds this year. Just going to be difficult to make that up against this Cardinals receiving core if they are at full strength with Marvin Harrison Jr. playing.
Let's go to the other side of the ball, because for the first time this season, Justin Herbert had over 200 passing yards, kind of getting back to vintage Justin Herbert and what we're used to seeing out of him early in his career there. Kyle, is this a trend that you think can continue against the Cardinals? Like, are they just hitting their stride here with that offense out in LA?
Well, I think so. I mean, they wanted to establish the running game early in the season, and they did just that. Jim Harbaugh and his offenses, they want to pound the line of scrimmage. So they get out there early, they do that. Now it's let's put on tape what else we can do. Let's show our next three opponents that, yes, we can go out there, and in our first dozen plays, Justin Herbert's going to throw the ball 10 times. They have a great quarterback for the Chargers and Justin Herbert. Sometimes we fall victim to forgetting about him because of their offensive style, but this is a team that's going to be friskier and friskier as the year goes. They can do it all on offense, too.
Yeah, if they could win a game without throwing the ball once, they will. Like, Jim Harbaugh wants to play that style of football, so him not going over 200 yards, we're not worried whatsoever. No. I will say this receiving core is underpowered, though, but if you can't get it done against the Arizona Cardinals, I'm not sure it's ever going to get done. One of the weakest secondaries they're going to face all season long. So if Justin Herbert's going to lay up the scoreboard, if he's going to really go for, 300 plus, this is the week.
I mean, I'm still trying to get used to Justin Herbert's, player picture there without the long flow. I have to do a double take every time we put it up in the screen. Let's talk about the Cardinals, though. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster season for them because they beat the Niners, so we're all like, oh my goodness, is this team for real? Is Kyler Murray the real deal here? And then they get blown out by the Packers, to your point, Kyle. Mike, how crucial would a win be for this Cardinals team at this point in this season when they're sitting at 2-4 right now?
It'd be massive. The NFC West is wide open. You have the Seahawks at 4-3 atop the division, but everyone looks susceptible there, and they already beat one of those teams in the San Francisco 49ers that's ahead of them. So they can get themselves back into this. I do, though, just think on the defensive side of the ball especially, they don't have the horses walking through that door. They just don't have the ability to impact opposing passers, and until they can really rush the passer, this defense is just going to be susceptible to getting scored on.
Yeah, they're just not scoring enough points either. You talk about the defensive side of the ball, but it's Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison. I need to see that group become an elite pairing. Right now they've been pretty good. Marvin Harrison's been all right, but it hasn't been as billed. Like, when coming into the season, we expected him to roll off the bus and get X amount of yards. That hasn't happened this year. He's coming off the concussion. It'll be a big opportunity for that connection to make some strides. Against that secondary, he's missing some really important guys.
To that point, though, he is coming back this week, and we saw it wasn't week 1, but week 2, really, where he stepped out, and we were like, okay, yeah, this is the guy as advertised, right? What is it about Marvin Harrison Jr. that forces us, Kyle, to have these conversations about how much of an impact he's going to be when you miss him for 1 week and now he's back on the field?
Well, I think obviously his physical gifts, but it's his mental understanding. The guy grew up around the game of football. Obviously, we all know his dad, and I grew up in one of these houses as well, and there's not much that goes on in life other than football when you grew up in one of these houses. So I also fully expected Marvin Harrison to come out and have one of these seasons as a rookie that you kind of just are in shock by, but it hasn't quite been that yet. Gets an opportunity to right that ship in prime time. You know, people, what have you done for me lately? So if he goes out there with Kyler Murray and puts on a show, we'll forget about all the lackluster stuff.
A lot of it's about the talent on the rest of that roster. They have a slower wide receiving core outside of him, whether it's Greg Dortch, whether it's Michael Wilson Jr. These are underneath, intermediate, possession type of wide receivers. So he, by default, has to be the vertical guy. And when you're the vertical guy, you're just going to have streaky sort of production because there's only so many vertical shots you get a game. And if you're missing one or two, all of a sudden, exactly, if you're missing one or two, or if one or two get blown up by a bad pass pro, all of a sudden, your stat line is going to go in the tank. So I think that's the biggest thing. They need those explosive plays. That's how they move the football consistently there in Arizona, and he brings those to the table.
All right, gentlemen, let's get to the fun stuff, the picks. It's essentially a pick 'em. Chargers are favored by 1.5 on the road, total sitting at 44 and a hook. Kyle, who wins? How do you think it goes down?
I love Jim Harbaugh. I love Justin Herbert, and I love Jesse Minter's defense. Give me the Chargers.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the Chargers a lot in this one. Even if they're down their two corners, they just have so much more talent on the defense side of the ball. They're giving up half as many points per game as the Cardinals are this season. Give me Los Angeles.
All right, that was easy. Going with the Chargers. Gentlemen, we always love hanging out with you here on HQ on a Monday. A doubleheader coming up. But we've got plenty of action on CBS Sports HQ. Highlights, scores, news, all the things streaming 24/7 for free on CBS Sports HQ.